Hi, Sleep Tight friends. There's a brand new Smurfs movie coming to theaters July 18th, and it's Smurftastic fun for the whole family. This time, Papa Smurf, voiced by one of our favorite actors, John Goodman, has been taken by some very wicked wizards. Now it's up to Smurfette, voiced by Rihanna, to lead the Smurfs into the real world on an epic rescue mission. It's a wild, music-filled adventure with comedy, heart, and teamwork, and a Smurfy message about being kind and finding your true self. This sounds like a story we would like. With an all-star cast and brand new music from Rihanna, Tyla, DJ Khaled, and more, it's the perfect summer movie night for everyone. Don't miss the Smurfs, only in theaters, July 18th. A short message for grown-ups. Parents, we've all had those times when the whole family is off on their own screens. Wouldn't it be great to find something active and fun that everyone agrees on? Families everywhere are discovering Next Playground, an active game system where your body powers the play. No controllers or wearables, just natural 100% motion-driven fun. Fly with How to Train Your Dragon, dance with Barbie, pop bubbles in Gabby's dollhouse, or master moves with Kung Fu Panda, all from your living room. Even better, Next Playground is totally kid-safe. No ads, no in-app purchases, and no mature content. Just good, clean fun for long summer days. Want to learn more? Visit nextplayground.com. That's nextplayground.com to explore active family gaming today. Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. Red is so surprised. Misty and Shade are the good guys? Who are these people coming through the trees? And what is going to happen next? The Transfer Student Vol.2, Hart 10. We need to move, now. Misty's voice had lost all its reassuring quality, replaced by the sharp efficiency of someone in full emergency mode. The distant whine was growing louder, accompanied by the rumble of multiple engines. Red's enhanced hearing could pick out at least 3 vehicles, maybe 4, moving fast through the forest on what sounded like off-road tires. Those aren't park rangers, Shade said grimly, his perpetual smile completely gone as he stuffed his snack wrappers back into his jacket. And they're not lost hikers either. Corrupt agents? Red asked, though she already knew the answer from the agents' tense postures. Has to be, Misty confirmed, moving toward the facility entrance with surprising speed for someone so large. They must have been tracking you somehow. Phone signal, maybe, or... Red's stomach dropped. The charm. When it activated this morning, could it have sent some kind of signal? Possibly, Shade said, pulling out what looked like a small device and scanning it quickly. The old Martian tech wasn't designed with Earth surveillance in mind. The guilt hit Red like a physical blow. She'd basically put up a giant flashing sign saying, "Ancient Martian technology here." How long do we have? She asked, fighting down the panic rising in her throat. 2 minutes, maybe 3, Misty said, her hands moving quickly over some kind of control panel that had emerged from the facility wall. Grab anything essential from Dr. Hart's equipment, the tablet if you can carry it. Red rushed to where she'd found Dr. Hart's scattered research materials, scooping up the tablet and a few data crystals that looked important. The technology felt strange in her hands. Familiar Martian design, but older, heavier than what she was used to. "What about the rest of it?" Red asked, looking at all the equipment and information they were leaving behind. "The facility will seal itself," Shade explained, watching Misty work. "There are built-in security protocols. It will take the corrupt agents weeks to get inside, if they manage it at all." The sound of engines was much closer now, accompanied by voices calling to each other through the trees. Red couldn't make out the words, but the tone was urgent, organized, definitely not casual hikers. "Ready?" Misty asked, stepping back from the control panels as warning lights began flashing throughout the corridor. Red took one last look at the endless metallic passages stretching into the depths below, then nodded. Whatever secrets lay deeper in the facility would have to wait. "Let's go," she said. Misty led them away from the facility entrance, but not back toward the main trail where Red had entered the forest. Instead, she headed deeper into the woods, following what looked like an animal path that wound between thick stands of evergreen trees. Dr. Hart mapped escape routes from all her sites, Shade whispered as they moved quickly through the undergrowth. She was paranoid about being discovered. Red's enhanced hearing picked up the sound of doors slamming behind them, followed by multiple voices coordinating a search. The corrupt agents had arrived at the facility, but they were still several minutes away from the sealed entrance. "This way," Misty hissed, gesturing for them to crouch low as they passed through a particularly dense thicket. Branches caught at Red's hoodie, and she had to duck to avoid low-hanging limbs that would have been invisible to normal human vision in the dim forest light. The sound of pursuit was getting closer. Red could hear at least 4 different voices now, along with the mechanical beeping of some kind of scanning equipment. They were being systematic about their search, which meant they knew what they were looking for. "Can they track the charm from here?" Red whispered, her hand instinctively moving to her pocket where the device still pulsed gently. "Not if we keep moving," Shade replied softly. "The signal gets weaker with distance and interference from the trees." They paused behind a massive fallen log as the unmistakable whine of a drone passed overhead. Red pressed herself against the moss-covered bark, her heart beating hard. This was nothing like the adventure novels Charlie was always reading. This felt real in a way that made her stomach feel nervous. Misty held up her hand, signaling for complete silence. Through the trees, Red could see flashes of movement, dark figures spreading out in a search pattern, moving with the same professional efficiency she'd seen from Misty and Shade. The drone circled back, its mechanical buzz growing louder. Red held her breath, fighting the urge to look up and see how close it was getting. Her instincts screamed at her to run, but she forced herself to stay perfectly still. After what felt like hours, but was probably only 30 seconds, the drone moved on, its sound fading toward the facility entrance. "Now," Misty breathed, and they continued their careful progress through the forest. Red's respect for the agents was growing with each step. They moved through the woods like they'd done this before, reading the terrain, avoiding obvious paths, using the natural cover to stay hidden. Even Shade, who had seemed almost comically out of place with his constant snacking, proved to be surprisingly capable in the wilderness. "How much farther?" Red whispered, as they paused to listen for pursuit. "Almost there," Misty replied, pointing toward what looked like a break in the trees ahead. "Once we reach the road, we'll be safe." As they moved through the forest, Red's mind raced with questions that couldn't wait for safety. "How many cache sites are there?" she whispered to Shade, who was following close behind her. "Dr. Hart documented at least 12, he replied quietly, stepping carefully over a fallen branch. But she was secretive. There could be more. 12? Red's voice rose slightly before she caught herself. That was far more than the 3 mentioned in the holographic message. Misty glanced back at them, her expression serious despite the need to keep moving. The corrupt agents have been searching for months. They've found 3 sites already, stripped them clean. What about the migration window? The message said something about timing. Every few years, conditions align between Mars and Earth that make travel easier, Shade explained, ducking under a low branch. Lower energy requirements, safer passage. The next window opens in about 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Red stumbled slightly, caught off guard. That soon? Which is why the corrupt agents are getting desperate, Misty added grimly. They want to find and exploit as many sites as possible before the next wave of refugees arrive. Red's thoughts immediately went to her family. Are my parents in danger? Blue? No, not directly, Shade assured her. But if the corrupt agents succeed in monetizing Martian technology, it could impact all our lives by destroying the secrecy of the program. So we have to find the remaining sites first. Exactly, Misty said, pausing to check their route. But you have to maintain your normal routine. School, friends, family time. Acting suspicious will only draw attention. Red nodded, though the thought of sitting through English class while ancient Martian archives needed protecting seemed almost impossible. How will we coordinate? She asked. Very carefully, Shade replied, with a hint of his usual smile returning, and with a lot of patience. They emerged from the forest at the edge of a small parking area where a single black car waited inconspicuously among the weekend hikers' vehicles. Red recognized it as the kind of unmarked sedan that screamed, "Government agents," but somehow managed to blend in anyway. Safe for now, Misty said, finally allowing herself to relax slightly as they approached the car. She pulled out a small device that looked like a cross between a phone and a scanner. No tracking signals, no pursuit vehicles in the area. Shade opened the trunk and pulled out what appeared to be a normal-looking backpack. Emergency communication kit, he explained to Red. There's a secure phone inside, programmed with our contact numbers. Only use it for absolute emergencies. Red accepted the backpack, surprised by how ordinary it looked. What counts as an emergency? Corrupt agents approaching your family, strangers asking too many questions about your background, or if you find another cache site, Misty replied. Otherwise, we'll contact you through normal channels. Normal channels? Shade's smile returned briefly. Your school guidance counselor, Mrs. Henderson, is one of ours. If we need to meet, she'll call you in for a college planning session. Red blinked in surprise. Mrs. Henderson, with her collection of inspirational posters and endless enthusiasm for standardized test prep, was a secret agent? We'll search for the other sites systematically, Misty continued. But we need you to act completely normal. Same routines, same friends, same annoying little brother. What about the tablet I took? Red asked, adjusting the weight of Dr. Hart's device in her hoodie pocket. Keep it hidden, but safe, Shade advised. We might need the information it contains. Red nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. When will I hear from you again? Soon, Misty promised. But remember, to everyone else, today was just a nature study project that went exactly as planned. Red walked the familiar streets back to her house, her mind still buzzing with everything that had happened. The morning felt like it had lasted a week, packed with discoveries and danger that seemed impossible to have experienced in just a few hours. She checked her phone as she approached her front door. 12:47 p.m. Perfect timing for someone who had spent the morning cataloging local flora with friends. How was your nature study? Her mother asked as Red entered the kitchen, not looking up from the Earth cookbook she was studying with obvious frustration. Good, Red replied, hoping her voice sounded normal. We found lots of interesting plants. Wonderful, Red. I really love how you are fitting in here on Earth. You and Blue have done so well. There is still some food left from lunch. Blue ate already, and I'm just trying to figure out this recipe. I can solve habitat system design, but understanding simple Earth recipes escapes me. I think I am going to rest for a bit first, Red said, heading toward the stairs. All that fresh air made me tired. In her room, Red carefully hid Dr. Hart's tablet under her mattress, then moved the charm to a new location, taped inside her desk lamp where Blue would never think to look. The morning's adventure had taught her that her brother's curiosity was more problematic than she realized. She lay down on her bed, intending to just close her eyes for a moment, but exhaustion from the adrenaline crash hit her hard. Within minutes, she was fast asleep. Red slept so deeply that she didn't hear Blue's footsteps in the hallway, or the soft creak of her bedroom door opening. Blue had been bored all morning, with Red mysteriously gone on some nature project and their mother absorbed in trying to understand Earth cooking techniques. He'd exhausted his usual entertainment options. He'd already reorganized his collection of circuit boards, hacked into 3 different neighborhood Wi-Fi networks just to see if he could, and even cleaned his room without being asked. That's when he remembered the weird glowing thing he'd glimpsed in Red's room the other night. Blue slipped into his sister's room, moving with the practiced stealth of a younger sibling who'd perfected the art of borrowing things without permission. He had watched an Earth movie once about ninjas, and he figured that he was like them. Red was sprawled across her bed, snoring softly, definitely out cold. He started his search systematically, checking her usual hiding spots. Not in the desk drawer where she used to keep her Martian homework. Not under the loose floorboard where she'd hidden her credits from back home. Finally, he found something interesting taped inside her desk lamp. A small metallic object that definitely didn't belong on Earth. Jackpot, Blue whispered to himself, carefully peeling away the tape. The charm felt warm in his hands, much warmer than any normal metal should be. It was heavier than it looked, and covered with tiny markings that seemed to shift when he tilted it toward the light streaming through Red's window. Blue had always been good with technology. It was practically a genetic requirement for Martian kids. But this device was unlike anything he'd seen before. As he examined it more closely, trying to figure out what it did, his thumb accidentally pressed against what looked like a decorative pattern. The charm suddenly flared with brilliant blue light, causing Blue to nearly drop it in surprise. But instead of going dark again, the light stabilized and began projecting upward, forming what looked like a three-dimensional image in the air above Red's desk. "Whoa," Blue breathed, his eyes widening as the hologram took shape. A woman appeared in the projection, older, with kind eyes and graying hair. She was wearing clothes that looked ancient by Earth standards, and behind her was what appeared to be some kind of laboratory. "If you're seeing this second message," the woman began, "then time is running short. The last migration window opens in 47 days, and the Martian archive buried beneath Grid Section 7 Alpha must be secured before then." Blue's mouth fell open. Migration window? Martian archive? What had his sister gotten herself into? The holographic woman continued, her voice taking on an urgent tone. "The archive contains the complete cultural records of our people. Language, history, scientific knowledge that cannot be lost. But beware, others are searching for it too. Trust only those who—" "Blue?" Red's voice, groggy but sharp with alarm, cut through the hologram's words. Blue spun around to see his sister sitting up in bed, her eyes wide with horror as she took in the scene. Him holding the charm, the holographic message still playing, her most carefully guarded secret exposed. "Oh no," Red whispered, scrambling off the bed. "Blue, what have you done?" But it was too late. The hologram flickered once more, and Dr. Hart's voice delivered one final chilling warning. "Remember, they're closer than you think. The next phase begins now." The projection vanished, leaving brother and sister staring at each other in the sudden silence of Red's room, both realizing that everything had just changed. And that is the end of this part. Good night. Sleep tight.